Well, hello, it's Saturday, and the owner of the blue bike, the blue bathtub, shall we say, this guy right here, came by yesterday with a new electronic ignition system that is both a new alternator and electronic ignition. Here's all the parts, and it looks really nice. I mean, the construction on this thing is just magnificent. Beautiful, beautiful work. And this is the magnet, this is the stator, and you do this, and it gets pulled in there. And kill switch, this is the black box, this is the regulator, rectifier regulator. This is the spark coil, isn't that cute? Fires both plugs simultaneously. It's a wasted spark system. A 5K ohm resistor spark plug caps, which they say are very important. 2 different bolts and some spacers for different threads and for different crankshaft for different bikes. So it looks like it's got everything that you need, and it's made by Electrics World Limited, and I'm very impressed. So I'm going to start the installation on this today. It's 11:30 by this clock, and 11:15 by this clock. So I'm going to reset this clock over here and see if it's actually working. Maybe I just misset it yesterday. So I like having both of them. But we'll find out. In the meantime, I'm going to put on my grumpy old man hat and show you something interesting. I use a lot of Q-tips. You may have seen me reaching into my Q-tips down here quite often. Well, I'm getting kind of low. So the last time I went to big bulk store, I bought a whole package. I guess it come 3-4 at a time. And what's interesting, this is the one box that I had left out over in my supply cabinet, and this is what I usually buy, and I use them. And this is what I got when I realized when I came home. Look at that. This is wow, what a difference. Talk about shrinkflation, not inflation, shrinkflation. I'm just a grumpy old man, but I think that's just wrong. That's just wrong. So anyway, that's where we are. Yeah, that's where we are. I'm going to start putting this ignition system in the bathtub bike and see how it goes. I will give you updates as we go along. All right, I have the exhaust pipe off. It's not absolutely positively 100% required to take it off, but it really blocks these lower bolts that hold the primary on. So it's easier to take it off, get it out of the way. I will show you something that might be interesting to you. The absolute best place to store a nut and bolt, or a nut or bolt, or anything that comes off the bike is actually where it goes onto the bike. So this little nut and bolt are down here, hanging here. They hold the exhaust pipe. This nut holds the, yeah, I guess the exhaust pipe. And this holds the exhaust pipe, and this holds the brake. I mean, you can put these in Ziploc bags. That's a wonderful thing to do. But frankly, putting them back in the hole where they came from, they're going to be there when you get back. For example, this pinch bolt here. Might as well leave it right where it came out. So anyway, that's where I am. I got the exhaust pipe off, getting ready to crack the case. Be back in a minute. All right, I've got my spiffy microphone on. So let's see if the audio's good on this video here. Let's see what happens. I'm going to pull the cover off the primary. I truly don't remember if the alternator is attached to the cover or to the engine. Be interesting to find out. I hope there's nothing up under there. I don't want to take that shrouding off. That should be on, huh? Well, let's find out. Yeah. Oh, that's right. The adjuster. The adjuster's mounted on the case. Have to undo the adjuster. Okay, well, let's get that done. The adjuster, the primary chain adjuster, is inside the cover, not on the body as in the later models. That's my confusion. So, let's see. Let me see if I have my little adjuster jobby. I actually made this little one. It's not official. Made it out of a bolt. Let's see if this will come off now. No, I bet I have to remove that adjuster all the way. Yeah, that's what it is. It has to be removed all the way, taken completely out. I don't do enough of these 350s and 500s to remember all this. I remember it's a pain. I remember it's a bad design. Whoever put it inside the cover was not thinking. First time I took one of these covers off, I could not understand why it didn't just come off in my hands. So let's see what happens. Nope, not quite ready to come out. I love oil. There it is. That's the adjuster. And now the cover comes off. All right. Not too much stuff in there. Reasonably clean. It has been welded here. Must have had a fall over. Okay. Ooh, a lot of slack here without the adjuster in place. Okay. How's our video? Still going. All right. Okay. All right, stand by while I cogitate for a few minutes on what I want to do next. Well, I cleaned up the primary case a bit, put the screws in there. It's a good place to store them. And now I'm just going to go ahead and pull the plates out of this clutch and pull this alternator off. Got an interesting little tool here. It's just a modified screwdriver. Let's see if you can see that, whether or not it's, I know, yeah, let's see there. That's good there. I just modified a screwdriver, cut it off real short, and modified it to fit. All right, enough of that hilarity. I'm going to stop the video and while I do the rest of these. All right, the 3 spring screws are out. Uh-oh, that's not good. That should not come out like that. This is not good. That shouldn't come off. What on earth? Hang on. I don't think it should come off. I've never had the center come out like that. I got to admit, I don't work on that many 350s, but I've never seen the center come out like that. There's no screws in the back. But the screws in the backing plate are gone. Right here. Huh. Okay. This is weird. This is strange. This is the backing plate. Here's one screw right here. I'll turn this around and show you. 2 screws. Let me get the video. Come down here. Okay, this screw right here comes in from the back, as does this screw right here, as does this screw not here. I have 3. And that puts this plate screwed into the back of this plate. 1, 2, 3. And that's not a good thing. So let's get this thing completely disassembled and do some more exploring. I just wonder where that 3rd screw is. It's behind this. I've got to get a puller to pull this off. I'm going to pull this off with a puller, and we'll see if we can find that 3rd screw. So in the meantime, back at the ranch, I'm going to put you back up here, and I'm going to do a little A little exploring. All right, so let's see if we can get this center hub off this shaft. While we're at it, we'll do this one also. Well, that didn't take any effort at all. That was scary loose. All right, now let's see if we have a puller that'll fit that. I have a bunch of pullers for different bikes. And we'll see which one fits this guy. And it's that one. Cool. That looks like a very fine thread. This one looks like it's too big. Could try it anyway. And it's too big. All right. I need to find a bolt that'll go in here. I'll be back as soon as I find the corresponding bolt for this puller. All right, I found it. Don't know why it wasn't in the puller, but it was in the drawer, so that's close enough. That goes into the internal threads. All the way, you want to use up as many threads as you can. And now you want to jar it off. Rather than try to beat it to death. And there it goes. So now that's loose. Okay. So that's all got to come off together. All right. Let's do the front. While we're here. That came off very easily also. Okay. These screws tend to get hung up on the threads. So it's easier if you take them out when you disassemble it, rather than fighting the threads. All right. This guy's really stuck on here. It's not the wires, I don't think. All right, so once again, I'm going to stop the video while I fool with that and see if I have to use a puller or if I can just get it to break free. All right, so I pulled and prodded and prodded and pulled, and I finally decided to get the big guns out. And this is a really nice puller here. And when you just use the right tool, there it goes, it breaks free. Now it is hung up on the wire at this point, even though the wire is completely loose. So I'm going to put some heat under there to soften that wire, see if we can salvage it. If we can't, I'll just cut it because I really don't care. We're not going to use that alternator again anyway. But it's a good alternator, so I'd rather not destroy it. If this will soften up the wire, then I can pull it out. If I can't, like I say, I'll cut it off. As in, don't make no never mind to me. Let's get this off of here. Oh, we may put it back on. All right. Jump don't want no help. Jump don't get no help. This is just weird. I don't like forcing stuff like this. The wire is loose. And this is why Kevin and I say so often, 5-minute job. It's not a 5-minute job. Why? How long does it take? How long does it take to do a 5-minute job? Okay, there's the wires. There they come. Okay, so now we know it's not the wires. And look how chafed they are. I don't think I did that. Now let's see if we can straighten this up. Get it off of here. They get caught up on the threads. Let's see. Ah! And there went a spacer. Whew. Okay. Okay, so they're not really chafed, they just look like it. Well, that's good. So we got a perfectly good alternator here. Now we still have to get this off, which means getting this off. Now let's see if we can get this rotor off of here. And it's going to take a puller. Where's my little puller? Stand by while I find my smaller puller. Okay, this is a puller that I made out of a store-bought puller. It had 3 prongs on the top. I cut one off. I extended the arms, and its specific job is to take rotors off. When a rotor's stuck, this guy will fit around it in the back like so. And the fun just never stops. Sometimes these things just slide off. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they fight you all the way. All right, so now we have the stator off, we have the rotor off. Now the question is, will this come off happily, or does it have to be pulled off? Let's get this key out of the way. Boy, that's stuck too. Is there anything on this bike that's not stuck? right, so where are we? Oh, good. This guy's just going to slide off. Sometimes he has to be pulled off. I have a special puller to do that job also. Now, what do we have over here? Let's see if this guy will come off. There we go. All right. I still don't see that third screw. And I'm not going to worry about that. It's not under there. There goes that spacer again. All right. Spacer. Spacer. Nice. Very nice gasket. This is a very high quality gasket. It is so high quality that if it comes off unbroken, I will use it because it's better than what we're buying nowadays. Very thick. Very nice. Okay. That shouldn't be that tight. Everything on the spike is tight. Wow. That's worn. It can still be used. This, let me come over here where I can show it. This is the adjuster rod, and this is why it was so tight. It's rather bent. So that explains why it came out so hard. We'll straighten that out, clean it up. All right, let's stop for a moment, but let's talk about the perennial question, which is how far do you go? How far do you go? Here's all the clutch and drive right here on the bench. And I just sort of tossed it over there when I was taking it apart. There's your rotor. There's your clutch release rod. These are your shock absorbers. Perfectly good. Very nice gasket. I'm going to reuse that. Okay. The alternator's over here. That doesn't get reused. Here's the rotor. It doesn't get reused. This does get reused. This has a problem. We need to figure that out. Get it off of this shaft, get this part out. Take a look at the rollers that are in here. I can see it's pretty, you're going to love this because I'm going to say it. It looks pretty gnarled in there. So let's, we're going to take that apart. And then we're going to get into the might as well philosophy. Here we sit with the full primary drive out, front sprocket, clutch basket, jammed up clutch hub, missing at least one screw here out of this clutch. Oh, wait a minute, there's three here. Look at, no, that's the other three. Never mind. The three were missing. One of these three is missing. Okay, we have no new clutch plates already. That was a plan. So now we say to ourselves, what do we replace? This is worn. I'm going to see if I can find three screws that'll let me put it back together. These are pretty well gnarled up. Gnarled, gnarled up. Silent G, but not for me. And I'm going to buy new rubbers. That wasn't a plan. I'm going to buy new rubbers. I'm going to see how bad this thing is and make a decision on it. And now we've got a wide open primary. That wasn't a plan. We were just going to replace the clutch plates and the alternator and put the ignition system in it. And we're past that because we had to take all this out just to get it apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws, and we can get to the front sprocket. Question, should we get to the front sprocket? Answer, we know there are leaks under the engine. Are they coming from this? Probably not. So if there are leaks under the engine, not bad, but some, what about the tranny main shaft seal? It's right in there. All I have to do is take out 6 screws, take this plate off, take the big nut off of the main shaft, take the chain off, pull the sprocket off, get to the tranny main shaft seal, oil seal, pull it out and replace it. Or should we not? Now, if this was my bike, I would. And since I make my decisions based on what would I do if I was working on my own bike, I will. So I'm going to take this apart, take out that tranny main shaft, see if I have one in stock. I have several, but we'll see if we have one that'll fit this bike. And then also take a look at that front chain sprocket to see how badly worn it is. So that's where we are. We are at might as well. Those are the 3 little words that get us men in more trouble than the other 3 little words that get us in trouble. You know, the old, I love you. Boy, that'll get you in trouble. This is might as well time. And I'm going to take this apart, and I will take some video as I do it. You'll see what I find. Here we go. Okay, let's take the cover plate off of the sprocket, and I'll show you, I won't say it the right way, but I'll show you how I take it off. Okay, let's zoom in, and let me try to stay out of your way so you can see what I'm doing. And hear all of my admonitions. Okay. All right, we still got audio. Audio seems to be working. All right, these 6 screw heads are very, very shallow. They have to be flush with the plate. So they're very, very shallow, and they're actually very special. You have to order them. And if you try to take them off with a screwdriver, it ain't be happening. You're going to try to hold it and turn it, and all you're going to do is just mess up the heads. I mean, they're just going to get all gnarled up. If you have an impact tool, you can get a bit that will fit into there just perfectly. Put it in the, my God, these are just coming undone. These aren't tight. Oh my gosh. Here I am ready to take them out with the impact tool, and they're not even hand tight. Oh my goodness. Well, what I was going to say is set it to remove, and then all you have to do is hit it gently. You don't have to pound it. It's not an impact tool in this case. All you have to do is this, and they will turn and come free without being gnarled. G-N-A-R-L-E-D, gnarled. The G is silent. So anyway, let's take this off and take a look and see what we have inside. I'll probably edit out this little bit here just to make it a little shorter. A lot of traffic out there today. Well, it is Saturday. You can hear the guys building that house down the street. They are remodeling it, and they're working today. And there goes the plate. Oh my. Oh yeah, it does. It has a gasket. Good gasket. Oh my, look at this. Wow. This bushing. Oh my goodness. Rats. Doggone it. I'm going to bring you down here and let you see this. Well, there was an oil leak. There is an oil leak. You're getting oil under there. And look what this oil seal has done to this bronze bushing. Come on. Focus. Focus, Bovis. It is badly grooved. Now, to replace this bushing means going into the transmission, taking everything out, and putting in the new bushing. I don't think it can be replaced from the outside. It's about that long, and it fits inside the tranny. They do make an undersized seal. So if this is a stock original seal, I can buy one that's probably about 20 thousandths undersize, and maybe that'll solve the problem. Because I really do not want to go into this transmission unless I absolutely positively have to, and that'd be up to the client. So right now I'm just going to take this gnarled lock off of here and pull that center bolt. I'll be back in a minute. All right, so let's try to get this center nut off. I'll tell you right now, it's not coming off. I've got the tab straightened out. I got the right socket. I got a nice breaker bar. And you don't have to tighten this thing too tight. You know, tighten it down, yes. Then when you put the locking washer on it, it's not going anywhere. So to tighten it like this is just a radical case of overkill. And basically what I'm doing is I'm turning the rear wheel. We'll try a little heat, then I'll show you what I do in cases like this, which is different. Let's try a little heat, see if it helps. I'll be back in a minute. All right, so it's too hot to the touch now. So let's see if it'll break free. Nope, it's coming down here. No, it's just turning the rear wheel. Okay, several opportunities. You could stick something in here that would put strain on the chain. You could try to go through these holes and go up against the case with a screwdriver or a rod. That would be cumbersome. You could put a board through the rear wheel to lock it while you do this. There's all kinds of things you could do. I don't like any of them. So I'll show you the way I get this done. Step one, take the rear chain off. So I'm going to do that offline. I'll be back. All right, so the objective is to lock the sprocket so I can get that retaining nut off of it. And it's really, really tight. So I have a tool, once again. This is an old fork leg with a section of chain on it, just through a bolt. And it's about that long. It's an old fork leg. And I'm going to take it down there and I'm going to wrap the chain end around the sprocket. I'll show you in just a moment. I have the tool wrapped around the sprocket. I'll show you. Comes up through here over the, not over the swing arm, but over the mount or the center stand. Comes up here and wraps around the sprocket. Now it's completely jammed. There's just no way for it to go anywhere. So now I'm going to put the socket on here, and try to break it loose. So stand by. I'll be right back. Anyway, there's the tool coming up there and going up and wrapping around the sprocket. All right, let's see if we can break it free. Now I'm going to use this shorter breaker bar now, and if necessary, I'll use the longer breaker bar. Let's see if I can break this free. And there it is. And I didn't put any stress on the drive chain, didn't put any stress on the rear, didn't put any stress on anything. I just used the tool to lock that in place. Let's see if we can get this out now. And of course it's jammed, but that's just the way it is. Yeah. Okay, going on. Okay, we'll do this offline because I'm about to say very nasty words of encouragement. All right, we have a couple of opportunities here. First of all, you very seldom ever get to see the sump vent tube so clearly. Usually they can way up from the bottom. But there it is, and it's in place very nicely. I might put a clamp on it because that's a little wet. Anyway, this seal looks to be in very good condition, but there is oil on it. You don't know if the oil came from it. Came from the primary side where I showed you that damaged oil seal in the door, or someplace else. There's oil over here. And now I'm going to take a Q-tip and wipe through here. Let's see if you can see it. And that let's focus on that. Focus. There. Does that qualify as enough oil leakage to justify changing the oil seal? Well, I don't know. It might be a perfectly good seal, but it is sort of a moot question because here I am all the way in there and I'm not leaving without changing that seal, just on general principles. So at this point in time, I'm going to see if I have a seal that'll fit. If not, it'll just be one more part to order. So that's it for now. Hang on, I'll be back eventually. All right, so we need to get that seal out. Now, bottom line is if that seal is not bad now, it will be when I get it out of there because we're going to rip it up. So one way or another, we're going to put a new seal in there. I made a tool. It's just a bent piece of metal with a hook on it. Let's see if I can get out here far enough to get some focus. Hello, focus. Hello, let's try that. Okay, that's a good looking hand. Okay, here's the tool. And you insert this in the socket, excuse me, in the seal, and then you roll it down to sort of pry it out. So we're going to try that. It works. I've used it many times. But let's see if we can make that work. Oh, what a mess. That seal is really in there tight. One way or another, it's coming out. Even if I have to drill it and cut it, which I have done. This should have lifted it out of there. If I could attach a slide hammer to that, that'd be neat. Wow. That thing is really in there. I've never had one come out so difficult in all the times I've done this. This little tool usually just pops them right out of there. So anyway, as I said, If it wasn't bad before, it is now. With all this ripping and tearing, I wouldn't trust it anymore. So, I'm tired. This has been a not happy day. Okay. Let's try the old screwdriver in there and twist trick. All right. Let's take it out in pieces. Well, I'm going to get that seal out now, and it's going to be ugly. So I'm going to turn this off and do it in secret. All right, the seal is out. And here it is in my hand. And I told you it would be ugly. Well, it is ugly. Basically, it meant chiseling one side of it till it deformed enough that it lost its grip, and then I could pull it out. It was horrible. Now, the good news is I got it out of there. Let me get this out of the tripod without any damage to the case itself, which is, your basic really good thing. So let's see, there it is. No damage to the inside or the edges. And when I put it back in there, when I put the new one in there, I will put a very light coating of red sealer around the outside circumference. Just because that stuff will not cause the same problem that I just had. So, yeah, you can see a little bit of right there. That's where I was chiseling the edge, trying to deform it. Eventually, I did deform it, but there's no damage back here. And if there is, the red gasket sealer will fill it very nicely when I put the new seal in. Okay, so at this point in time, it's 3 o'clock. I don't remember when we did the first time hack today, but whatever that is, this has been steady. I've been working on this all day since the first time to this time, and I'm tired. I'm going to go order a new thrust washer, 3 new screws, a new gasket for this, a new seal for that undersized, and the new oil seal for the main shaft. Those are what I remember. I'll look and see if there's anything else, but I think that's all of it. Now that also brings up the point here. The chain is in good condition. This is in pretty good condition. It's fish hooked. You can see the leading edge just a little bit fish hooked. I could replace it. Or I can use it. I'll get a price on it, and ask the client what he wants to do. Frankly, it's not that bad, and the chain is new. I'll show you how to check a chain for wear. Hang on for a second. All right, this is how I check a chain for use. You put it against a straight line, which is a crack in the floor, each end just barely touching, and move it tight so that it arches, like so. All right. Then you measure the deflection in the center, and a new chain will be about 6 inches. A used chain will be about 8 inches. A chain that's on margin will be about 10 inches. And basically anything over 10 inches is a chain that needs to be replaced. So this chain is probably pretty good. It's adequate for another couple of years, remembering that this is a low-powered motorcycle. There's not a lot of stress on it. He's not doing burnouts. And 2, it's an around-town bike. It goes to breakfast on weekends and puts around town. It's not going cross-country. So I have no problem at all reusing this chain. It's in good condition. And for that same reason, I'd say let's reuse the sprocket. I'm not going to worry about changing it. It's worn, but it's not worn badly. Little bit of fishhook. No problem. Because theoretically, if you're going to change the sprocket, then you should change the chain. They're sort of a matched set. And I don't think it's worth the expense. And it doesn't give you that much of a improvement over anything. So I'm going to quit for the day and go inside and do paperwork, order some parts.